Happy Sunday. This is Soul Sunday with Ruby and Allison here on the Soul Therapy series. In today's topic, we will be discussing how to meditate, hustle, and flow as an entrepreneur. Well, I just want to welcome everybody to Soul Sunday with myself and Allison. Hey, Allison, how are you?
I'm good, lady. How about you?
I am good. Now, of course, you know that we're coming up on a year of doing Soul Sunday.
Yes.
A long time.
Yes, it is.
It was time to switch things up and change it up a little bit. So
Right.
now we're doing the podcast. Are you excited about that?
I am. I am super excited. I think this is going to be great.
It is. So we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. For everybody, I want to welcome you all to our first podcast episode of Soul Sunday with Ruby and Allison. For those of you that don't know me, I am Ruby D, the Goddess Entrepreneur and Soul Speaker. I am the author of the Goddess Grind book series, which focuses on you becoming the best version of you in order to manifest success personally as well as professionally. I am a speaker. I am the chakra expert. Of course, I am one half of Soul Sunday. And, I'm just looking forward to moving on and moving on to bigger and better things. Allison, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, peace and blessings, everybody. For those who don't know me, I am Miss Allison Denise, and I help you rebuild your life after toxic and abusive relationships. My goal is for you to heal, grow, and live beyond that relationship status by becoming better, not bitter, and enjoying your life along the journey. I do that through a combination of live casts and blogs and vlogs, and I'm an upcoming author and all of that good stuff. And today I am also one half of Soul Sunday. Very excited to be here.
Well, thank you, honey. So, of course, with today's topic, when I woke up this morning, I was like, okay, what are we going to talk about? But then I was just like, we just kind of need to go back to basics in a way because, of course, I just finished my book series. Yay, me, yay!
Yay!
And I wanted to talk about that. So, with writing the book series and everything that I put into it, it's kind of like my personal journey from being an employee to becoming an entrepreneur. And one thing that's always stuck with me is that they're pretty much like three steps in a sense. And those three steps are, or three ingredients to this particular recipe, is meditating, hustling, and flowing. Basically, meditate, hustle, and flow. And I wanted to talk about that as it relates to entrepreneurship because with the Goddess Grind journey, I know a lot of us have this mentality about you got to work hard, you got to grind, you got to hustle, you got to get out there and get it, team, no sleep. I'm not, that's not me. I think more so with meditating, hustling, and flowing. Meditation, the meditate part of it is pretty much where you receive the vision and you know it's yours and you meditate on it, you focus on it, and you allow the vision to manifest. It becomes a part of you. And then with the hustle part of it, it's not like you're just out there grinding and chasing paper and all of this. It's more so if you only have excuse me, if you only have like 2 hours to put in for work today, make sure you make the most out of those 2 hours. Make sure you work smarter instead of harder for those 2 hours, or even if it's 4 hours, or whatever time you're dedicating for that particular day. And then with flowing, that's more so having an understanding and realizing that things are not going to go as planned. You just have to kind of go with the flow of things, but at the same time, still stay in control and understand that everything happens for a reason. And that map or that plan that you have, it's just not going to work like that. So what do you think about today's topic, or what would you like to add to that?
I think today's topic is going to be one of those foundational things that I would want anyone who is either a new entrepreneur, considering being an entrepreneur, or even someone who's done it for a while and just finding that things may not be working as planned. I think this is going to be one of those topics that's going to fit everybody.
Mm,
um, it's important for us to understand, and I'm really glad that you brought up meditation first, because meditation has an element of balance. That's the whole purpose of meditation. If you just strip everything away, the candles and the chanting and anything else that people do, the purpose of meditation is balance. And just like every other area of our lives, if we are not balanced, it's going to show up. And the same thing is just as relevant in your business. The team no sleep, that doesn't work.
mm,
You're not gonna build a business by being able to say that for 5 years you lived off of 2 or 3 hours of sleep. Of course, there are going to be some exceptions to that rule, but even those exceptions will more than likely tell you that that team no sleep concept, for example, costs them something as well. And so what I love about today's topic is that we're going to really break down, what does entrepreneurship look like? Yes, I am responsible for making my own money. Yes, I'm responsible for my own health insurance now, and all of these other things that were taken care of when I was an employee. But even though I'm responsible for everything, what does it look like to still do all of that and be balanced? So I'm excited.
right. And again, thank you everybody for tuning in to Soul Sunday with Ruby and Allison. Make sure you check out at www.soultherapyradio.life to check out, other shows that we have, other podcasts. And of course, Allison will be starting hers soon. And then our
Yes.
sister Tara, she has hers. So I'll definitely be sharing that information, and you can find the information on the website. But let's really get more into the meditation part of it.
Yes.
Of course, like Allison said, it's really about balance, definitely focus. But I found that the element of meditating and really getting the opportunity to just focus on me and get to know me really well and understand what it is that I need, what I want, and what I desire. So when I am manifesting and when I'm meditating on those things, then I'm meditating and manifesting exactly what I need. Because, for example, if if you always have people telling you what you should do with your vision, what your vision should look like, pretty much they're giving you their input from what it should look like for them, as opposed to what it should look like for you. And you definitely don't want to manifest the wrong things in your business, because it's not even what you want, it's what other people think you want. And if it's your vision, then nobody else has any business telling you about your vision and what you want to do with it. So really getting the opportunity to sit down and meditate on what it is you really want and finding that balance with you. And of course, like I tell everybody, I'm a chakra expert. So when I talk about balance, I'm always referring to balancing the chakras and balancing the feminine and the masculine energy. Because what happens when you get to that point of being balanced, then you receive messages that you wouldn't otherwise receive. You make decisions that you wouldn't make if your mind was all over the place and you were not balanced and you were not focused. So when you meditate, when it comes to yourself or personally, you want to make sure that you are meditating and focusing on you and becoming balanced, so that when you receive those messages, you can get them clearly and you're confident in those messages that you receive. So when it comes to working your business, then you're confident about the decisions that you make about your business. You're not worried about what this person is going to think. You're not worried about what that person is going to think. You follow your intuition and you trust it. Allison?
I think that's Perfectly put. When we're thinking about the fact that it's our vision, it is something that we've been given, it's something that, the universe has said it wants to birth through us. We have to understand that there is a difference between someone trying to take over your vision and someone that you may be seeking for, say, advice or something of that nature. Kind of like I did with you and Tara this week. You know that's a perfect example. I dealt with someone who is very well meaning and is very good at what he does, but he suggested that I change the colors of my branding. He said that it was too in your face and things like that. And so I did change it to something that was more subdued, but it never seemed to really resonate with me. And by being able to reach out and talk to both you and Tara, you basically both just said, wait, this is your vision. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's a perfect example. There's a difference between someone who says, hey, with your vision, why don't we add this, versus someone who says, based off your vision, let's change this. You have to always be in a state of knowing what your vision looks like. What is the roadmap for your business? What does it look like for you? What are the things that you want done? You don't want to be inflexible to things as you start to figure out and grow and realize, well, maybe this thing that I want to do, maybe this area might be better, maybe this avenue may be better. But it's always got to come back to you being okay with that particular decision or that particular change. It can't be that you're so unbalanced and you have various chakras that aren't balanced that you're afraid to speak up. You're afraid to talk to someone who suggests something different that isn't going to go in line with what you want, but you're afraid of hurting feelings or being offensive or things like that. It's very important that you understand how to stay firm on what the foundation of your vision is so that no one can distract you from it.
Right. That is absolutely correct. And I even have my own examples where I was, you get an idea and you're like, "Oh," and you're so happy and excited about it, and then you share it with somebody, and then if they don't like it, then it's just like, "What? That don't make sense. No, you shouldn't do that." Blah blah blah. And then you go from being excited and happy to second guessing yourself and thinking, "Is this right? Should I do this?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't do that. It's just like if you felt it when you first got it, then that's what you need to do. Hey, it may not be exactly, how you thought it would be, but as long as you have that core vision and you stay with that for the most part, then you're basically still going with, the vision that you receive. It may look, change a few times and whatnot, but you still have the essence of what you received. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Soul Sunday with Ruby and Allison here on the Soul Therapy series. And we are discussing in your business meditation, hustling, and flowing. So we've talked a little bit about the meditation. Now we're going to move on to the hustling. Now, with hustling, I'm not talking about, like old OG moves or nothing like that. You ain't out here, pushing nothing other than or your products. But when I say hustling, I mean smart hustling. I'm not saying get out here and work yourself to the point of frustration. I'm not saying work yourself to the point where you're losing sleep. I'm not saying work yourself to the point where you can't even clearly make decisions about your business because you're just so out of it and loopy. And it's just like, what am I doing? No, when we're talking about hustling, we are talking about, like I said a little bit earlier, if on today, of course, today is Sunday. So I know a lot of people don't like to work on Sunday. They like to have their, self-care time, their personal time, time to prepare for the week. But even if on a Sunday, if you decide to take an hour or two to say, hey, let me organize these few things or let me make a to-do list, if you set out that amount of time of an hour or two, make the most of that hour or two. If, you say, I'm going to do this and this and this, and you finish it in 30 minutes, good, you finished it in 30 minutes, but still utilize that other 30 minutes to get ahead or Even if you don't want to do any more work, do some professional self-care or do some professional meditating. Still make the most of that time instead of just, letting it dwindle away, because before you know it, it's going to be this time next week or this time next month or this time next year. And then you'll realize, sit back and think about how much time you wasted. Like, I could have did this, I could have did that. And then your business is not as far as long as you think it should be or you feel it should be. And it's like, if you're feeling that way, then why didn't you work that full hour like you said you would? Take that 1 hour, take that 2 hours. If it's during the week and you work a full 8 hours on your business, make the most of that time. Put all that you can into it, especially if at the time when you were an employee and you were going to work for 8 hours, you were putting in work there. So why can't you put that same energy into your business for however many hours and give it all you got, and then end your day or then move on to the next thing? But hustling, just make sure that you're making the most of the time that you decide to work with for that day. Allison?
Yeah, this is really important. And I'm glad that Ruby brought up the similarity when you were an employee. You have to remember, and this is why meditation, again, I'm glad we talked about that first because it is the foundation. But you have to remember that as an entrepreneur, you don't have a clock to punch in and out of. You don't have a computer that you need to sign into or a phone that you need to sign into by a particular period of time. And you also don't have anyone, and this is the important part, you don't have someone to make you stay disciplined and to make you do the things that you need to do for your business to be successful. This is something that you must either have or develop within yourself. And one of the beautiful things about meditation is that you have the ability to figure out, what does the hustle look like for you?
Mm-hmm.
And you're able to stay balanced so that you can start to figure out not only what hours do I need to work for my demographic, but you can dig deeper and say, okay, what if the hours that I need to work for my demographic aren't typically the hours that I'm used to working? What if your demographic is available after business hours, but you're still on an 8 to 5 schedule? That's going to pose a problem. And so this is where, the hustling has to mean, what am I doing that is effective? It doesn't matter if you're up until 2, 3 in the morning, and it doesn't matter if you're working even 7 straight days a week. If you're not producing the results, there's something else that you need to adjust, bring into the picture, or something of that nature. And so when we talk about hustle or grind or whatever word that you want to use, it's important that you understand that we're talking about, what does it look like for you? If it is not producing the results that you want them to produce for you, your business, your income, your livelihood, now let's figure out what we can do differently. Let's say that you do want to take Sunday off, like Ruby mentioned. Maybe you do want to let Sunday be the day that you don't do anything at all. That's awesome. But you have to hold yourself accountable and say what needs to be done by Sunday. And you also have to have a reward as well as a consequence. So if you get everything done, let's say you get everything that you want to get done by Friday. Well, now your reward is you have 2 days that you can relax if you want to. But let's say you don't get everything done by Saturday. Well, now your discipline has to say, well, I didn't get it done and I need to get it done. So I'm going to have to sacrifice this Sunday and do some work. It's not going to feel good, but that's the good part, because if it doesn't feel good, if you are not punishing yourself, but feeling that consequence, it will drive you to do what you need to do to stay on task next week. So it's important to really, really zero in on, what are the areas that I'm doing well in? What are the things that I need to do better in? What can I do to give myself and set up a reward system so that I can stay focused and can stay disciplined? And what am I willing to give up if I miss the mark?
That is absolutely correct. But real quick, thank you all for tuning in to Soul Sunday with Ruby and Allison. And just a little bit of a break before we go into the flowing portion of it. But the Soul Therapy series, we do have a special project called Small Businesses for Healing, in which we have Black-owned businesses that donate products for healing. with me being an esthetician and all about healing and self-care, I feel that when you do your hair, when you do your makeup, ladies or men, when you're grooming, you're doing that edge up or you're shaping up your beard or whatever, that's actually therapeutic, because when you put in a little effort and the way you feel after you're done, you feel so much better. You feel good about yourself. And to me, that is a form of self-care. So we have some small businesses that send in products. If you like to send in some products, please send us an email at radiosoultherapy@gmail.com. But send us an email and I can send that information for you. But we have different businesses that have donated products to us. And we have giveaways. I sometimes send them out when I send books, or if we're live on the air doing Soul Therapy Radio and we have a guest, sometimes I give them to the guest. But I'm grateful for those businesses that have submitted products. A few of the businesses, Ice Body, they are a skincare company. Their website is www.shopicebody.com. Glorious Glam and Tresses, sorry. But she has hair extensions, she does makeup. Make sure you check out the website, www.gloriousglamandtresses.com. We also have Onay Naturals, which is a natural hair care company. Onay, ONAE, naturals.com. And make sure you check out that website. But and we have a few other sponsors, but I'll mention them a little later. But to go ahead and keep moving with the next portion of this meditate, hustle, and flow. With flowing, we have to understand, or you have to realize, that every day is not going to be a money-making day. Every day is not going to be a good day. Some days you're not going to make a sale. Some days you're not going to be feeling it. Some days it's just going to go the complete opposite of what you thought it would be. But you have to learn to flow with whatever is happening. And when I say flow, I mean, if you're having a bad day or have a bad business day, don't allow that to set the tone for your entire day. Don't allow that to make you feel that the rest of the days that are coming are going to be just like this one. No, that's not true. You may have one day of not getting any sales, but that could be the day that you need to take a personal day and just regroup and relax and get in some professional self-care. You may need to do some professional development that you've been putting off. Sometimes the universe has a way of making us do what it is that we need to do. And it's not always about making the money. I mean, it's no point in making the money if you wake up in the morning and you're sick, or you can't even enjoy the money that you're making because you're ill. Oh, we don't want that to happen. If we want to make the money, we want to make sure we can enjoy it, or use it how we want to do it, whether that be investing it back in the business or taking trips, or investing it somewhere else. But you have to learn to flow with the waves of business. And as a business owner, depending on what your industry is, some days or some months you have that are in season, and then some months that are off season. And if you know an off season is coming, do what you need to do during your own season and get that money. If it comes in like that, make sure you're working it to get it. So when that off season comes, you're not off yourself. You expect it. It's going to happen. And during that period of time, that's when you can look at maybe rebranding your business, or either refreshing your website, or refreshing your email list, or your automated emails, or just really finding that time and using that time wisely to really build your business, or prepare your business for your next own season. So when it comes back around, it's even better than the one before. You just have to learn to flow. Don't let, those bad days keep you in this funk for a long time, because if that's where you are, you might miss out on some opportunities that can be very beneficial for you and for your business. That's another thing. We talked about balance earlier. With being balanced, you have to realize the importance in that. Because when you're balanced, whatever opportunity is for you, whether you're up or down, whatever it is, that opportunity is going to be there, and you have to be able to recognize it. You can't recognize it if you're distracted because you're mad, you're upset, you're, just in a bad mood or a negative space. You might miss out
Mm-hmm.
on what's for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is 100% true. Also, one of the best pieces of advice that I have heard is, and this is just in life, but I think it's really important as an entrepreneur. You can have bad moments, but you cannot have bad days.
Mm,
Now, there will be, things like if you happen to unfortunately suffer a loss of someone, if someone transitions, someone passes away, yeah, that's not going to be something that you can brush off as easily. But breakups can't take you out for 2 or 3 weeks or months at a time, not as an entrepreneur.
mm,
Having a business deal that went bad, or not getting that account or that client that you really wanted to get, it cannot take you down that long. You have to start to figure out a way to bounce back quicker so that you are ready. And one of the reasons for that, like Ruby mentioned, the opportunities will still come. But what will happen is, if you're still focused on the loss of the client that you wanted, you may not have the confidence that you need to go get the client that is now seeking you. You may go into that meeting without a lot of confidence. You may go in unprepared. You may go in with negative energy because you're still reeling from the client that said no. And part of you may be thinking that this client is going to say no as well. So you're just going in defeated. That is going to cost you. And
mm,
so you want to get to the point where you start to accept the losses quicker, learn the lessons quicker, and leave the frustration and the pain. Now, don't ignore it because it'll just bottle up, but you have to learn how to release it a lot faster. And one of the best ways to do that is to not let it take your whole day. Find some way, find a practice, find something that you can do to help you bounce back. If it's just taking 5 or 10 minutes after that disappointment to say, I really thought I did A, B, C, or D. I'm frustrated that it didn't happen. I really needed that account. I really needed that money for this month, or to do the next thing that I wanted to do. Go ahead and have that moment, talk through it, but begin to also talk yourself out of it. There's nothing I can do to change the situation. There's nothing that I can do to win this client. They've moved forward. So all I can do now is refocus on what I want to do for my business. This person is not going to get me to the next step. So let me focus on a client who will. That is the process that's going to be much more effective for you.
then she's absolutely correct. But yes, thank you all for tuning in to Soul Sunday with Ruby and Allison here on the Soul Therapy series. Now, we've just discussed meditating, hustling, and flowing, which I still do every single day. It's a constant in me running my businesses and me just being an entrepreneur overall. And everything that we've discussed, we've experienced personally, and we've gotten through it. We talk to each other. Allison, she's in my tribe, and we talk to each other about things, and we get through things. Sometimes it's by ourselves, sometimes it's with each other, but we still meditate, we still hustle, and we still flow. Now, I did mention our small businesses for healing just a few moments ago. I do have a few other businesses that I want to recommend. I actually want to give a shout out to Miss Amina Jones. She's with Total Life Changes, and she, submitted or sent in some tea. I can't even talk. Detox tea, and you can go to her website at shop.totallifechanges.com// Jones Amina. And Amina is spelled Aminah Jones. So definitely check her out to get your detox tea, of course. With the seasons changing, detoxing is always good. And then we have more skincare products that were donated from Takara Anise, TICARA ANIECE. And you can definitely find her on Instagram. But thank you to those businesses that have donated to our Small Businesses for Healing project. And like I said, if you're interested in sending in donations, be sure to send us an email at radiosoultherapy@gmail.com. But Allison, let me see. I don't want to take up too much time because I got to get back to taking my nap. No, I'm playing. But of course, I always love doing Soul Sunday with you, honey.
I do. I really look forward to this every week. I really do.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up just a little bit. But make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you can check out Soul Sunday with myself and Allison and the other shows that we will be having here on the Soul Therapy series. You can find me online at, like I said, www.soultherapyradio.life. To purchase the books in the Goddess Grind book series, you can go to www.thegoddessgrind.com. All 4 books are available in paperback. I have 2 available in ebook, and then I have all 4 of the others available. Well, all 4 of the books available in PDF downloads. If you would like to schedule a chakra consultation, you can also do that at the website as well. And definitely make sure you follow me on Instagram at soul_therapy_radio. Allison?
I am Miss Allison Denise. You can feel free to connect with me on Facebook under Allison Denise, as well as my official page, Miss Allison Denise, aka the Petite Powerhouse. I'm also under our official group name of Be Still and Move. You can feel free to reach out to www.allisondenise.com for any booking that you need concerning relationships, personal finance, just getting your feet back underneath you after leaving a toxic or abusive relationship. You can also find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter under Miss MS Allison Denise.
Well, everybody, that's all we have for today. Make sure you join us next Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time for Soul Therapy Radio. Not Soul Therapy Radio, Soul Sunday with Ruby and Allison here on Soul Series, the Soul Therapy Series. I can't even talk, but that's okay. That's okay. But we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We thank you for tuning in to the Soul Therapy series. Be sure you check us out online at www.soultherapyradio.life and join our email list. This is Ruby D, the Soul Speaker. Peace.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.